Warnings are in place in the southeastern United States as Hurricane Humberto turns into a powerful Category 5 storm. We'll hear from a meteorologist about the impact it could have. Well, warnings are in place in the southeastern United States as Hurricane Humberto has been upgraded to a powerful Category 5 storm. Let's take a look at the latest satellite images from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Humberto currently about 560 kilometers or 350 miles northeast of the Leeward Islands. It's reaching wind speeds of more than 250 kilometers or 160 miles an hour. And the U.S. Hurricane Center says it will continue to strengthen over the weekend. The Dominican Republic has already been hit. These are pictures from Thursday. Humberto is also expected to affect the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. At the same time, another storm's been hitting the Bahamas and Cuba and is heading for the United States. That one expected to be named Tropical Storm Imelda. And I'm very pleased to welcome meteorologist Alan Archer for the latest on what we're seeing here. Alan, Humberto now a Category 5, that other storm making its way across the Caribbean as well. Which one should we be keeping an eye on?
Well, as far as the British Isles is concerned, we don't have either storm expected to affect us. In other words, if you look at the European models, the American forecast models, neither of the models show any signs of moving towards the British Isles, which is good news. And as far as the intensity is concerned, though, right now it is Hurricane Humberto, that's the one that we're most concerned about as far as any potential effect on any land area. In other words, right now, Humberto is 685 miles to the southeast of Bermuda. It's expected to pass about 400 miles west of Bermuda at its closest point, and that's going to be about Monday night, early Tuesday, and then it will take off to the northeast. So Bermuda is going to be the only land area affected. They'll probably get some wind gusts, maybe 60, 65 kilometers per hour, might get 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall, some coastal beach erosion, coastal flooding on parts of Bermuda. But again, 400 miles away from Bermuda, that's the closest it's going to be. And then later on down the road, it's going to track on to the northeast, but stays well west of the British Isles. On the other hand, Tropical Storm Imelda over the Bahamas tomorrow eventually is going to kind of stall out off the southeast U.S. coast of the United States in another day or two. Then it gets shoved just to the south of Bermuda, probably about Thursday night. So Bermuda, once again, will likely be spared any impact. And if you take it out further towards the end of next week, it shows no signs of moving towards Europe. So I think in both cases, these are mostly going to be fish storms, as they call them.
Okay, that is a really good outlook to have. We do have parts of the U.S. East Coast already issuing states of emergencies, expecting some fallout from this. How should residents be preparing for this activity in the Atlantic?
Well, I think the question is there's a possibility that the center would come ashore. Now, earlier today, the American and European forecast models were saying, hey, it could move into Savannah, Georgia, it could move into Charleston, South Carolina, the southeastern United States, in another day or two. Now, the very latest forecast models, and this is the American and European computer models, are in pretty good agreement, suggesting it will come no closer than about 160 kilometers to the southeast of the Georgia, South Carolina coastline in another day or two, and then it gets shoved on eastward away from them. So if it stays offshore, then there may be some 30 to 40 mile an hour, let's say 60, 65 kilometer an hour wind gusts. There'll be some heavy rainfall nearby. But again, the main effect is going to probably stay out to sea.
Okay. Now, the Atlantic hurricane season does seem to be coming a little bit late this year, right, compared to what we normally see. Are we expecting it in general to be quieter than in previous ones?
You know, it's funny because, like I said, Mother Nature works in strange ways. Last year was so active, and this year much less active. Not to say that there hasn't been strong storms this year. There's fewer, and they've been more out to sea than, let's say, last year, where we had like areas like Florida that got hit by 3 different hurricanes. This year, we had an abundance of African dust from the Sahara Desert of Africa blow across the Atlantic towards North America, and that kept the hurricanes from forming. Usually around the middle of August, that African dust subsides, and when it subsides, that usually leads to the hurricanes allowing to form late in August, and by the 10th of September, which is considered to be the heart of the hurricane season in North America, or at least in the Atlantic Basin, normally by the 10th of September, things are firing up. This year, a little bit late because the dust stayed around longer. That's not to say that now during the month of October coming up that we still couldn't see some hurricanes. But so far this year has been a quieter, thank goodness, a quieter than normal season and quieter than what most meteorologists were forecasting.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us here today. We've been speaking with the meteorologist Alan Archer. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.